Okay, let's talk about strategic social distancing. So again, if you have your plan out, I will walk through some of the highlights. There may be additional information on that handout. I'm just kind of chose the big items to discuss with you tonight. So important to know, we have been able to maintain 6 feet of distance in the classroom. So every desk is 6 feet apart. I feel that's important. I know some schools have had to sacrifice that space to get more children in the classroom. We've been very strategic and intentional about keeping that 6 feet and not accepting kids into the classroom just to accept kids into the classroom. So we do have limits and capacity limits in every classroom, and we are at about our capacity for what those classrooms can hold and maintain that 6 feet. Students will be kept in cohorts. I've mentioned this before, but again, just to hear it a second time or third time, 3K through 5th grade will be in a cohort based on their homeroom teacher. And our middle school will be in a cohort based on their grade level. And what that means is that 6th grade students will be mixing with other 6th grade students throughout the day. How that looks, middle school students will arrive at school, they will report to their homeroom, they will stay in that homeroom for the morning classes. Teachers will move into their classrooms. Students will stay put. And then lunch and recess, the middle school students will go outside. 6th grade will have an assigned area. 7th grade and 8th grade, those will be separate. The students will be eating lunch outside if they choose to, and recess outside. And then once that bell rings for them to report back in the building, their afternoon classes will be with the same grade level, but they may be with different students than they were in the morning. The masks, I did share with you that masks are going to be worn. The 5K through 8th grade students will be wearing masks. Our 3K and 4K, we wanted to give parents the option of either a mask or a shield. So you can choose what you think would work best for your child. I do also want to insert that if you feel your child wants to wear a mask and a shield, any child is allowed to do that from a 3K through 8th grade span. So our teachers are being given a mask and a shield. So our teachers, some of them will be wearing both of those. Everyone from 5K and up has to wear a mask at a minimum. But I have had the question, can we wear masks and shields? And the answer to that is yes. So we ask that your child put their mask or shield on in the car before they exit, and then they walk up to the building with their mask and their shield on. That will be worn while they're in the building at all times. They will have mask breaks, which will be when they're taking a drink from their water bottle, when they're having their snack or their lunch, and any time that they are outside. We also have talked to teachers, and teachers have been told that they can use discretion, that if a student needs to kind of take a little breather break, that they can go back to their desk, make sure there's 6 feet around them. They can pull that mask down, take a breather for 30 seconds or a minute, and then put that back on. There's hand sanitizer available, so they would need to then sanitize their hands, and then they could resume the work that they're doing. From a mask standpoint, we ask that parents send 2 masks per day, one to wear and then one to spare. One of the masks that they're wearing may become soiled, it may become dirty. We've seen and I've heard other principals say that are back in schools, students are sneezing in them, and then it gets wet and kind of gross. So we are going to, in that case, use the spare one that you sent to school. We'll have the child switch into that. The office will be printing up notes that indicate that the masks are dirty. So if child comes home and you open their backpack and you see that Ziploc bag with the spare mask in, if there's a note in that bag, that means that that mask was used, and the one on your child's face is dirty, as well as the one in the bag is dirty. So you need to wash those both and then bring 2 fresh masks to school the next day. All masks need to have first and last name written on them so that we know whose they are in the event that one would get fall on the ground or get lost. And then make sure the face mask is appropriate for a 3K through 8th grade learning environment. We have no strict dress code from that standpoint saying they have to be navy blue or they have to be solid green. We want to make sure they're appropriate. So no vulgar language, no messages, political messages, no violent messages, no drug, alcohol, anything that would be distracting to a learning environment. So it needs to be appropriate. I always say to my own family, would you wear that to church? That's kind of your guideline. So that's all we have for the social distancing portion.